Come on in or call 861-0011 to order.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, 37 chilly degrees this March 15th. Hope hope you didn't put your sweater away yet, or your little jacket, or your blanket. It looks like it's going to stay kind of cool today, kind of mild, I guess. I don't know. It was nice yesterday. It didn't really feel cold to me. In fact, it didn't feel cold to me this morning when I walked outside. I guess you get used to it after the winters. By the time the winter is over, right, you're ready.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's open up the phone lines, get some news out there, and see if anybody wants to express an opinion on some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first one is we had this one already, didn't we? But I guess now it's official. Toys R Us files for liquidation, likely spelling its end in the United States.
Gosh.
There you go. Toys R Us, the toy superstore chain that became a dream factory for kids, said in a U.S. bankruptcy court filing early this morning that it must liquidate. Why do they do things in the middle of the night? It's so weird.
I know. It's just, they just love being sneaky,
How is that sneaky? I mean, we knew this one was coming.
I know.
The stark reality is that debtors, Toys R Us, are projected to run out of cash by May of 2018, the motion states. The chain, based in Wayne, New Jersey, said it has enough money left to pay its 33,000 workers for no fewer than 60 days. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
Gee.
I wonder if the giraffe gets any compensation.
Maybe.
Let's see. Basketball fans, the NCAA tournament tips off in earnest today with 16 games beginning just after noon. Of today's games, 5 of the most compelling ones are ones people are talking about. 2 of those matchups feature Kentucky and Michigan. Mm-hmm. There's still time to fill out your bracket, by the way. I threw my bracket away because there's nobody here really to do it with, and I don't know what I'm doing anyway.
Yeah, we just guessed last year.
We did it one time just to
ago.
see how we would do if we did it kind of blindfolded, and worked out pretty good, actually. Mm-hmm. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg will celebrate her 85th birthday today.
Oh, my gosh.
She said she's still feeling fine. Ginsburg has written 3 of the court's 13 decisions and has been first to pounce on the plaintiff's attorney in more than half the court's oral arguments. She also has kept up a steady stream of public appearances, at one point making 9 in the space of 3 weeks. Rather than shirk the spotlight as most justices do, Ginsburg has embraced her celebrity. Mm-hmm. There you go. There was a murder-suicide in Silver Spring Shores yesterday. I guess we found out about it yesterday morning. I had the alert on your phone.
Yes.
But I didn't see it till after we were off the air. So anyway, a 26-year-old woman named Alexis Marie Waronka is no longer with us.
Too sad.
30-year-old Ryan Anthony Young is also no longer with us. They were a couple. Gregory John Brasino, 29 years old, is the one who killed those 2, then drove to across the street from the Shores Auto Body and Paint Shop and killed himself.
Oh, my God. One
of the workers at the paint and body said, that guy's been sitting there a long time. They went over there to see if he was okay, and they saw a gun in his hand, so they called 911.
Gosh.
Deputies determined that he was deceased and had killed himself. His Facebook page indicated that incriminated himself, I guess you would say, according to the article. When I first saw this story, I didn't understand what it was. Now I think I understand. Alachua County deputies arrested a man for attacking a dog owner with a tennis ball launcher. When I first saw that, I thought it was one of those electric things. I think what it is those plastic things that they use in the dog park.
Oh, yeah.
To throw the ball farther.
Yeah, Tom Davis has one.
Tom Davis had one.
He's got one for his dog at the dog park.
So apparently the guy without the dog both guys had dogs. Okay, one guy had his dog on a leash.
Okay.
Thomas Phillips is his name. Thomas Phillips is the guy who had his dog without a leash.
Okay.
So he was walking his dog, and he came up to another guy. Do I have the other guy's name? But anyway, walked up to another guy. The other guy had a dog on a leash. Mm-hmm. And the dog began to, they were fighting. The dogs were fighting, okay? So the suspect came over with a tennis ball thrower and hit the owner of the leashed dog across the forehead.
So the dog that wasn't on the leash was probably the one that provoked it and attacked the one.
Right.
Oh, my God.
But it sounds like to me the one on the leash was the stronger of the two.
Oh, my gosh.
So the guy without the dog on the leash, he's now upset that his dog, who attacked the other dog.
Gee, no. There is a leash law in Marion County, fellas.
Well, this is Alachua County.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
there might be one there, too.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
It's only common sense, though. Only common sense, unless you're at the dog park. Gosh.
If you're staying in Walt Disney World at one of the resort hotels, you will now have to pay for parking overnight.
No. Oh, wow.
You're paying a fortune to stay in a room.
Oh, my God.
Now, where would you put your car? I mean, you're staying in the resort.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did.
Exactly. You're staying in the resort. I mean, $200 a night?
Are they losing their minds over there?
They're absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
The prices range from $13 to $24 a night.
Wow.
And if you have your car parked by a valet, it's $33 a night.
Wow. You're paying megabucks for a room, and now you're going to have to pay for parking.
You have to pay for your car.
Wow.
Your car's going to spend the night in a nice, nice parking space.
Well, they better wash it then. I mean, if you got to pay for it to be there, they better have their cleaning crew out there and wash and wax your car.
Can you?
Isn't that absurd?
They just get away with it because everybody's going to pay it. That's the crazy thing about Disney World.
That is I mean, you can't park in the lot anyway unless you're paid because they have those special gates with your room code on it.
Yeah, but it used to be the room. Mm-hmm. The amount you're paying for the room included the parking space.
Right.
That
exactly.
dollar amount was supposed to be only if you didn't have a room.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, now you have to pay.
Oh my God.
However, there is an exception. It's Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. For some reason, they're not charging people to park there.
Well, good. Well, if we ever get a room at, if we have a family gathering and get a room at the Disney Resort, we'll park at the Fort Wilderness thing and then get an Uber from there and go to the resort area.
If you do have a family reunion at Disney World,
you're
going to have lots of time together because you'll all be standing in line for 4 hours. Lots of time to get to know one another.
Yeah.
That's really a good idea. If you think about it, you go to a theme park, usually you're scattered. You don't really get to spend time with anybody. But in Disney World, you will because you're going to spend probably 8 hours all day long in lines.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
Oh, I know, and they're open for what, 12? Gee, that is absolutely absurd. Well, they're a private entities, so what can you do? But that is really absolutely nuts.
All right, so here's something from the world of technology that I need to ask somebody about. Okay, so the cyber currencies, right? Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call them, right? They're supposedly, foolproof, but they have technology that enable people to mine the currency. They call them, what do they call it? They call it mining.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, let's see. There's a definition. Mining cryptocurrency involves using software to calculate and solve math problems. They're calling it mining. But to me, it's stealing because you didn't do anything to earn it. So you're just using a computer to manipulate numbers, and then boom, you have some numbers, some money, right?
Yes.
Somebody has to explain this to me. So anyway, an employee of the state of Florida, who worked at the Department of Citrus, was arrested after mining the agency's computers for cryptocurrencies.
Wow.
He used a state purchasing card to buy 24 graphic processing units, whatever that is. It's over my head. Those were worth more than $22,000. Gosh.
Wow.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather read you that story than stories of accidents or death or something.
Gosh.
Surveillance from last month's school shooting in Parkland is expected to be released. Surveillance video, I should say, is expected to be released today. The decision to release the video was ordered by Judge Jeffrey Levinson of the Broward County Circuit Court. Media organizations petitioned for its release. They were stating that the public is interested. Prosecutors argued in court that the release would be detrimental to the fair trial of the accused killer. Anyway, I guess it's going to be released. We'll see what the camera saw.
Wow.
There were 70 surveillance cameras installed. 70.
Wow.
70 cameras.
Wow. Gosh.
Microsoft founder Bill Gates is scheduled to meet with President Trump today. President Trump was criticized by Bill Gates, so the two are meeting. They will be meeting at the White House. They met once before at the Trump Tower in New York City. That was a year and a half ago. While they were there, they discussed a shared commitment to finding and stopping disease outbreaks around the world. Since then, the Trump administration's policies and the president's comments about African countries and Haiti have caused problems for Bill Gates. He's not happy with some of the things the president said. Today's meeting is expected to take place this afternoon, and it is closed to the press, according to the White House schedule.
Gosh.
So we won't know what they talk about.
Nope.
Mr. President, I got more money than you.
That's right.
Mr. President, I got more money than the United States of America. And I think with that money, we could solve all disease. We could cure all disease. It's always amazing to me that money can cure disease.
Yeah.
You know, and I know
Yeah.
why. I mean, it means that scientists can get busy in trying to figure out a cure. If that is true, why haven't we been doing that all along? Why are we, as a country, I mean, why do we always, I mean, it's great that we have fundraisers to help scientists, and we've all participated in them. But why hasn't any nation done this as a nation? If there's anything that I'd like to see my tax dollars being spent on, it's that.
Exactly. All of that research. I mean, all of that money raised for muscular dystrophy, and it's like it's still in existence. I just don't get it.
Let's see what else. Navy officials say a U.S. Navy fighter jet crashed yesterday off the coast of Key West, and the crew members died in the crash. I guess they were taken to the hospital and they died. I don't know planes, but it was an FA-18 Super Hornet. Its base was Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So it crashed off the coast of Key West. Oh my gosh!
Wow. Prayers.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good morning. The United States government has been funding medical research at a waxing and waning amount over the years since probably the 1930s. You know, when the first polio scares were happening, and you know there has been medical research funded ever since. You know, the amount goes up, the amount goes down, but it's been ongoing.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wonder if the conspiracy theorists that say the reason we don't have a cure for certain things is because it's a moneymaker. I know you've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but
no, there is serious medical research going on every year, and you know, the amount of funding has gone up and gone down, but it's been there since the 1930s.
Yeah,
that's the nation has other needs that So it causes money to be put in other places for a while, but there's always a certain level that goes to medical research.
I hear what you're saying, and I know you're right. But I guess what I was implying is that when you hear about $60,000 for a helicopter flight, you say, why? Why did the taxpayer pay $60,000 for a helicopter flight? Mm-hmm. That was crazy. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Or the $800 hammer. When you hear about the $800 hammer, what the heck?
Yeah, that's
That's what I mean. Yeah. All right, thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
All right, have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So the flamingo is a step closer to being declared a native bird of the state of Florida.
Oh, okay.
If you went down to South Florida 100 years ago, you might have seen thousands of flamingos gathered in the areas that they call mud bogs. Mm-hmm. Mud bogs. And then they were hunted. Apparently, they were tasty.
I bet they were.
And the feathers were really pretty. Mm-hmm. And 100 years ago, we didn't think a whole lot about conservation. We just said, "Oh, there's plenty of them. We can eat one."
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess that's true. We're guilty of it too. I had chicken yesterday, didn't I?
I think so. Yeah.
I had pizza yesterday.
What do we have? Oh, pizza.
But I've had chicken, and I'm sure I've had chicken.
Yeah, we had chicken on our pizza.
But anyway, and there's plenty of flamingos apparently down in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. But there's not that many here in Florida, and that's because we were hunting them. And so now, and the state apparently has regulations that if an animal is native to the state, then they get special treatment and special laws are passed. Mm-hmm. So scientists are trying to convince legislators to do that, and they're one step closer. Not sure what that means, one step closer. It doesn't identify that or define that. A study, we had this story a couple weeks ago, but they have enough evidence to classify the birds as a bona fide native animal. Mm-hmm. So if it is reclassified as native, the state would then need to drum up a recovery plan for the species.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that would mean. Or something having lay them, raise them or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Hugh. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How are you guys doing?
I'm okay.
It's a little frosty out there again this morning, but I got a feeling that this might be the end of it now.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, it's March 15th. That's probably the end of it, yeah.
See, one of my favorite foods is fowl. I love my duck, my turkey, chicken, and I'm a big shrimp eater, and I know flamingos are pink because they eat shrimp, and I would just love to try to eat a flamingo, a shrimp-tasting fowl.
Well,
wow.
Well, you won't be able to if they pass this law.
I know. I missed out on it, darn it.
You better hurry up and get one before they close the door on that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, real quickly, with Disney World again, the employees had a big deal here, if you're not too far down the back, about a pay increase, and I believe they got their 50 cents an hour. And if you were rooting for them, it's fine to root for them, but you got to remember one thing: if they get a raise like anybody else in any other field, you know what? The people are going to pay for it, and by the parking fee now at Disney World is probably paying for that raise.
Well, you're probably right. Yeah. Yeah.
So as much as we like to see everybody make a decent living, you have to remember when people do get their wishes fulfilled, that the general public in some way or another is going to be paying for that.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that they need that much, but yeah, you're probably right. That's probably the thinking.
That's going to be a completely ridiculous situation under Disney World. To me, it's becoming a tourist trap.
Oh my gosh, it has. Yeah, and I love Disney World. I'm just so disappointed, really, that they've made it.
I wonder if Walt was alive right now. Probably in his grave, he's turning over a couple of times, because I know he wanted families to enjoy that kind of thing. And basically, your average family.
Thank you.
It's hard for them to afford something like that.
That's exactly. It's the rich families that get to go. The people who are earning a living, it's getting harder and harder for them to do it.
Yeah, and you can just imagine what kind of pressure that puts on a family. the kids and everybody wants to what it is, and the father, who's making the living to keep everything above water, he just can't afford it, and it puts pressure on him, puts pressure on the family. It's probably a problem that way.
See, if I was an advertising guy for like Legoland or something like that, I would have this big campaign: park for free. The lines at our place are only 20 minutes long.
Yeah, that would be a good thing.
I would be really I'd be blasting the news with all the great rides at the other ones and the length of time it takes to get onto anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nice talking to you guys.
Thank you, Hugh.
That's a great marketing concept. That is a wonderful marketing concept.
Today is the anniversary of the Syrian civil war. On March 15th, 2011, crowds began to march in the Syrian capital of Damascus to protest the authoritarian regime of President Bashar Assad. The government responded by killing or imprisoning hundreds of the protesters, igniting a full-scale civil war that has taken 400,000 Syrian lives so far, according to estimates from the United Nations.
Yeah, that is awful.
Along the way, it allowed Islamic State extremists to flourish, creating the world's worst refugee crisis since World War II, and exacerbated an international power struggle that includes us, the United States.
Yeah. Horrible.
Oh,
Absolutely
my gosh.
horrible.
What else do I have here? The apparent win of Democrat Connor Lamb for Pennsylvania's 18th district has shaken the Republican establishment to its foundations and points to a wave election in the coming midterms that will end Republican control of both the House and the Senate. That's the speculation anyway. If the trend continues until Election Day, the Republicans are looking at a loss of 60 or more House seats and control of the Senate. A top Republican strategist who asked not to be identified,
Of course.
told reporters. And, everybody always rejoices, oh, my party is going to take over again. Yes, now we'll get things straight.
Yeah.
Well, the parties that are in control always say, the parties that are not in control, when they suddenly turn the tables, they say that, and nothing ever gets done. It's the stupidest thing to witness, isn't it?
It is.
You see them, you say, hello, weren't Democrats in control for quite a while, and the same things you want to get done weren't getting done?
Exactly.
And weren't the Republicans in control for quite a while? And the same thing, and they've been in control now for a while. And the things that they wanted to get done, many of them don't get done.
Exactly.
It's a national thing. It's a statewide thing. There is no sense of. There's no understanding of the value of compromise.
No.
We have made compromise seem to be a bad word. We have made coming to an understanding that two parties are represented by intelligent people with differing ideas, and therefore there must be a solution here. But no, we're getting our money. We're going to get our pensions. So we're just going to keep doing this, and I am not changing sides. Everybody thinks they're on a football team and they have to win.
Exactly.
Well, we are the football.
Yeah.
And you're deflating us. Except for some who can afford to pay an extra $40 to park at Disney World.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. On a day kids walked out of school nationwide to protest school shootings, the House passes a bill meant to protect students with federal grants for training programs and school security upgrades.
The first legislative response to last month's mass shooting at a Florida high school is to Stop School Violence Act, winning more than 400 votes in the House. A Senate proposal has bipartisan support. Democrats, however, say more is needed, urging debates on expanding background checks to additional types of gun sales and banning certain semi-automatic weapons.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Toys R Us is going out of business.
Toys R Us has been dealing with $5 billion in debt. It was struggling to pay that back while losing business to Amazon, Walmart, and others. Toys R Us has more than 30,000 employees. They're being promised at least 60 days' salary and benefits.
Fox's Jenny Casola. Fox News. We report, you decide.
At Progressive, we think your floral boutique is the bee's knees. In fact, it's all the bee's knees in every hive of bees in all the trees from here to Belize. Please. Everyone agrees. You deserve the expertise of Progressive Business Insurance, with over 40 years of experience helping busy bees and their knees glide with ease like a gentle breeze. So whether you're a worker bee, a queen, or none of these, buzz over to progressivecommercial.com if you please. Faster than a bee's knees as he pollinates the leaves of 3 trees. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Diana's hired with Indeed.
It just gives me so many more qualified applicants to choose from.
Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says a murder-suicide in Silver Spring Shores has left 3 people dead. Alachua County deputies say they arrested a man for attacking a dog owner with a tennis ball launcher. Navy officials say a U.S. Navy fighter jet crashed yesterday off the coast of Key West, Florida. Its 2 crew members died after being transported to Lower Keys Medical Center. Guests of Walt Disney World Resort hotels will soon pay as much as $24 a night for overnight parking. An employee of the Florida Department of Citrus was arrested after mining the agency's computers for Bitcoin. The effort to designate the Sunshine State's famous pink flamingos as natives is making progress. If the flamingo is classified as a native species, the state would need to devise a recovery plan for the species. And a South Florida couple is celebrating their 23rd anniversary in a hospital after he gave her one of his kidneys in a life-saving transplant. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Your community radio station.
WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boatings, no accidents. A beautiful day today, this Thursday, with sunshine, the high 68 to 72. Clear and chilly Thursday night, lows in the mid to upper 30s in inland, about 46 along the coast. Nice on Friday with sunshine, the high 72 at the coast, 78 inland. Saturday, sunshine, some clouds, and warmer, high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Is that couch cushion sinking lower every time you sit in it? Does your boat look better with the cover on? Has your car's interior seen its better days? Stop using a towel to cover up those rips in the golf cart. Isn't it about time you had it restored to better than new with a custom upholstery from Captain T? Captain T's Upholstery has been right here in Ocala for nearly 20 years, so they know how to make your ride one of a kind. Whether you want to take that classic ride back to a factory look or put your favorite sports team front and center, Captain T's Upholstery is who to call. 352-369-1810. That's 352-369-1810. Or stop by their location, 5030 South Pine Avenue in Ocala, just past the drive-in. And of course, don't forget to visit them on the web, CaptainTUpholstery.com.
The very best in quality is Captain T's Upholstery.
Now is the time to get that yard in shape for spring, and that means it's time to go see Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. This place is absolutely crammed full of fabulous deals for your yard or garden, starting with a huge selection of Gerber daisies. More colors than you've ever seen, now only $2.99. And camellias, Bob's got them. Many are budded and blooming right now, Prices starting at just $9.99 for Bob's own brand heirloom camellias. Spring veggies, all you can imagine, still just $3.49 for the jumbo 4-pack. And Bob's famous dogwood azaleas are flying out the door for just $2.99. Visit their new and redone greenhouse for more bargains at 20% off. Special spring hours, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Homegrown, locally owned, same location since 1952.
Ocala Aviation now has opportunities for flight instructors. Wait, hold on, Brad, is this correct? You're looking for instructors, not students?
Actually, we're looking for both.
Well, that's descriptive.
Well, I need flight instructors because we're now affiliated with a major university and can offer 4-year degrees. Plus, we're also approved to work directly with VA students.
Okay, so a degree in what, and what's a VA student?
Well, it's a bachelor's degree in aeronautics, which includes a commercial pilot's license, and there's financial aid available. By VA students, I mean veterans. They now have access to new benefits to pay for flight training.
Okay, so you have new opportunities for new students. What about the instructor side of it?
Well, with new students, we need more instructors.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So, if anyone out there is a flight instructor, I want to encourage them to come see me. And if they're not an instructor but have their commercial license, we can help them become an instructor.
So they get their instructor license and have a job too.
Exactly.
So you got a lot going on. The VA, the college, and now hiring instructors and future instructors too.
Yep. So now can we get the commercial started?
Already ahead of you. Call Brad to get your adventure started today at Ocala Aviation. 861-7484.
All right, thank you. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. What was that? Galen, you know, that must be Galen on the phone. Galen is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. I had the microphone, turned up. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you?
Good. Where are you right now?
I'm in Atlanta.
Is it noticeably colder there? It's like 40, what's it here, 30 something? Let me see.
Yeah.
What is it there? Do you know?
No, I haven't been outside yet, but according to my phone, it's 33.
Okay. Well, 36 here, so I guess it's not that much difference. So,
Yeah.
So how come you're in Atlanta? You just wanted to get up into the colder weather?
No, conference. Got a conference.
when is the next fun thing you're doing? When's your next fun excursion? Whether it's
I bought a house. Kind of slows everything down. Because this is the week we're usually, during spring break, we usually go on a cruise.
I know.
I don't know. I don't.
What about a work-related fun excursion? Is there one of those in the future? Did we lose him?
No, he's there.
Galen?
Work-related?
No, I mean, I enjoy work, but it's not fun.
No, but sometimes like when you go to the Comic-Con, isn't that fun?
Dragon Con? No,
Whatever.
Dragon Con's a ton of work. I enjoy it,
Yeah.
but if I had my choice, they would say, would you go? I'd say no.
Ah, okay. I thought you liked it. It seems like you like it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that
I make the most of it, but I would rather not go.
the guy you met from Galaxy Press, what was his name? John Goodwin?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He texted me a picture of himself at some event, and he said, "Look, Larry, I'm eating cockroaches and scorpions or something like that." And what it was they were plastic and they were on straws, and I'm thinking, he must have Larry King or something. There must be another Larry. He must have hit the wrong button, because why would he be telling me that? So that's kind of funny. Yeah, but he was with Jeff Bezos. Is that the guy from?
Yes.
Did you know that? He's hanging out with some heavy
What?
hitters.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
So I guess
Yeah.
By what's it, like 10 degrees of separation or whatever they say from Kevin Bacon?
6 degrees.
7 degrees.
Whatever it is. So
Yeah, whatever it is.
you're in there. You're kind of in the hip crowd. Plus,
Oh, boy.
plus Heather.
I guess so.
Plus Heather Locklear is your cousin. So
Yeah. Did you see her mugshot, by the way?
I did. I did.
Oh.
I did. Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
You
Yeah.
send her cookies?
She looks rough.
She looks rough. Yeah.
Well, not her best day. I mean, we'll just keep thinking about her when she was hanging out with William Shatner.
Oh, yeah, that was a good show, that police show.
Mm-hmm. What was the thing? It was the other day. Because of the leprechaun thing from St. Patrick's Day. This video came on. You know how it just recommends a video? It was Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun. I didn't know she was in a movie called Leprechaun.
No,
And she's riding with her father, and she doesn't want to be there. And she says, I'm not really a big fan of New Mexico. And he goes, this is North Dakota.
Oh.
It's like, oh my gosh, the script writing is just...
Oh, gee.
All right, so I have here, Galen, as a boss.
Wow.
I know. As a boss, you have to interview people to hire them, right?
Okay.
Did I lose you? Okay, so
I'm here.
I have
I'm here.
here some recommended questions to pepper your interviews with.
Okay.
So in other words, you have your normal questions for LifeSouth. These are questions that will pepper and reveal things about the personalities of the people you're thinking about hiring.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
I can't wait to hear this.
I'm leery. I'm leery because, I'm at a conference and I'm going to be talking to people, and so I have to make sure I compartmentalize all of these things so that I don't actually say them.
Oh, really? So you might be interviewing people.
Well, I'll probably talk to 100 or so people.
And do you talk in the form of questions? See, Robin and I talk in the form of questions.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. We ask questions.
Yeah.
And consequently, everybody thinks we don't know anything. So
Exactly.
Because we're always asking questions. And you want to know something? It's probably close to being true. I mean, I do know a few things, like, that you can microwave eggs and scrambled eggs in the microwave. All right.
That's important.
How is the blood supply right now?
Again, we're kind of right where we've been, right there at a 3-day blood supply. We just need people to get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood. And one donation will save 3 lives. And right now, we need all those lives saved.
Put that in bold print. One donation will save 3 lives.
Yeah.
Just think about that. That's all you need to remember. It's all I needed to remember, but it took me 40 years to do it.
Sure.
When we first started doing this, think about this, Galen. When you and Robert and I first started doing this, I had only been donating about 5 years at that point.
Oh, that's that's great. I tell people this all the time. I don't care when you start, just start and then keep doing it.
I mean, I was already over the hill, I guess, by some people's standards. By my own standards. Yeah.
You've been dying for quite some time.
I know. I know. I've been thinking about that lately. Every time I get up.
Me too.
All right.
Well, I was talking to this young kid. I got to tell the story. So, and he had just turned 30. He goes, man, I just turned 30.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do what I used to do. I said, wait till you hit 40 and you can barely walk.
Well, you put the fear of God in him, let me tell you.
What he was talking about is he was hungover and didn't respond the way you do in the in your 20s. You could drink all night, sleep for an hour, take a shower, and be ready to go all the next day.
Exactly.
When you hit about 30, you're like, I'm going to die.
So I never really.
When you're 40, you just can't. By 40, you're smarter than that. But you have one extra glass of wine and you're hurting for a month.
Does this happen to you? I'm just curious if this happens to you. You'll tell a story, and you'll say, "So I was doing this and this," and then this old guy, and then you're thinking back and you're thinking, "Oh wow, now I'm older than that old guy was."
Sure. Oh, sure.
I'm older than the old guy was. I'm way older than the old guy was. I was thinking about a story yesterday, and the guy probably was 40. So I'm like 23 years older than he was at that time. I saw, what was the girl's name who did Queen Amidala? What was
Queen Amidala.
Yeah, what was her name? What's the actress's name?
Oh, gee. What is her name? Gosh, she's so beautiful.
Galen, do you know?
She was in Black Swan, and Natalie Portman.
So Natalie Portman was doing a graduation speech. They invited her to do the speech. And she said that when she graduated, Will Ferrell did the speech at her school. And so she felt pressured to be funny. But then she realized that it might not be necessary since she's not a comedian. Mm-hmm. But she said, you know what? When I was graduating, all of you were in kindergarten. She was talking to the graduating class.
Oh, no, that's funny.
Yeah. All right, here's the interview questions to pepper your job employee interviews with. Ready?
All right, I guess.
Can you imagine ask, are you a hunter or a gatherer? This is like from The Office.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's not actually a bad question.
Okay.
Because you want to know if they're an extrovert or an introvert. So it's not a horrible question.
Okay.
People may take it as sexist, so you better be careful. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Here's one. If you woke up and had 2,000 unread emails, but you only had time to answer 300 of them, how would you choose which ones to answer?
Oh.
Stupid question.
Well, first of all, I would quit my job if I have 400 unread emails.
I guess you would look
Can you imagine having 400 unread email? How much of that is junk?
You're talking to...
And I have changed, my whole organization. I'm like, don't reply all. Why are you replying to all? I don't, this has, your conversation now has nothing to do with me. Do not reply all.
Do you know, I'm not going to go look, but I think I have 5,000 unread emails.
Yeah, but you probably haven't looked at them. You don't look at your email. It's not like work email.
I do.
Well, I guess it technically is.
I hear what you're saying, yeah.
I know better. I don't email you. I just email Rob.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. Email Robin. Yeah, I'm on some crazy lists, yeah. Now, here we go. If you were a new addition to the crayon box, what color would you be?
Ooh, I like that.
That's a stupid question.
That is a stupid question. What,
Flashy pink.
Why do you like that one, Robin?
Because that really, that expresses your personality. Do you want to be dull and boring like a brown, or do you want to be an extrovert and just, all bubbly like a flashy pink?
I'm anti-crayon because I suck at crayon.
Well, better than sucking on them. Let's see.
No, I mean, serious. There's when any, I bought my kids some crayons. I'm like, okay, I suck at those. Your 3-year-old can do a better job of coloring than I can.
All right.
I have, me. I'm not the most patient human being on the planet. So.
All right. Here's another one. We finished the interview, and you step outside the office and find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million. What would you do? Oh, hello.
Okay.
Good morning.
I do.
Here's the problem with this. In order to do that, you've already decided you're going to keep it because you picked it up.
Right.
And when you picked it up, you didn't know if it was a winner or not. So you already kind of made your decision, didn't you? It's not like everybody knows what the winning lottery numbers are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had already made the decision to take this lottery ticket. So at that point, it's... I guess a better question is if you found a lottery ticket on the ground in this office, what would you do?
That's
a better
on the
question.
floor. Yeah. Wow, it belongs to somebody here, and I got it.
Right.
Oh my God!
Not outside of the sipping suds or whatever. They're dime a dozen.
All right, here's a good one. What do you think about when you are alone in your car?
Oh, that's a good one.
What do you think about when you're alone in your car?
Mm-hmm.
Galen?
Why is that a good question?
That is a good question because you really want to know because that's like the most personal place you can be without being disturbed by anybody. So that's where your true personality comes in.
What I thought about yesterday is not going to be the same thing I think about today. I don't think it's always the same thing.
No, it's different.
Right.
But it's still you.
But what what if I said, well, I think about, the TV show Breaking Bad and whether or not I could get away with that.
I don't know. It isn't
Or, if I'm on Gilligan's Island, what am I going to do? What role am I going to play? Honestly, those are the kinds of things that go through your mind because I drive through some desolate land. I'm like, I wonder how many bodies are buried in there.
You know what I think?
I think about how I could cure cancer. Some days I do. I'm thinking, I wonder why they haven't thought of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll do the same thing. I'll think about something like a guest said, especially if it is like a medical thing, and you think, I wonder why they don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I think when I'm alone in my car is this: is the radio station off the air, or is that just dead air for a moment?
Yeah, Larry does that all the time. He's constantly monitoring.
Do I have to turn around?
Yeah.
Do I have to turn around and go do something?
I'm outside of the range most of the time, but yeah, I mean, that's why I'm like, is that a good question? And a lot of times, I don't think I could honestly. It's like this radio show. I don't know what we talked about yesterday. I don't know. You know, I drove 5.5 hours yesterday. I could not tell you what I thought about.
All right, here's one, Galen. What is your favorite '90s jam?
Great question.
I have no idea.
Are you? Do you know? Because that's, and this is why I like it, because you already know what your group or the person they're hiring that position, who they work with, what that group's '90s jam is. So if they say something like Celine Dion because she's Canadian, well, I can't work with her.
That's too funny.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean that's a better question.
You're in
and
Atlanta.
if they say in sync, you don't want that person.
Let's see.
Whip it.
What advice would you give to your?
That's from the '80s. That's why I couldn't go to Whip It.
What advice would you give to your previous boss? What advice would you give to your previous boss?
It's not a bad question.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
My previous boss, I would say, go ahead. That is my advice I gave to him.
Go ahead.
When I first started working here, Galen, I was still working part-time over at the assisted living facility because I felt like I wanted to be there because those people were so nice. And then they switched bosses. They got rid of the lady who was the boss and put a new guy in. His name happened to be Larry. And so I was doing activities over there for, maybe a month after I first started here 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me into the office. He said, I got people who will do your job for free. And I said, great. I said, go ahead. Because I am so tired now. I'm doing two jobs. I got to do one or the other.
You floored him.
He looked at me like, what? He thought I was going to take a cut and pay. I did. I wanted to just get out of there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too
That's
much.
funny.
All right.
No, that's fine.
This is a weird one. What do you want to do?
That's a good conversation starter, and that's really what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it is. It's a good conversation
Yeah.
starter.
Let's see.
I agree.
If I were to hire you for this job, and I granted you 3 promises with regard to working here, what would they be?
Say that again.
If I were to hire you for this job, and I granted you 3 promises with regard to working here, what would those promises be? Promise me you won't fire me.
Promise me I can take off for my children.
What would they be? Promise me you'll recognize the work I do. Promise me you'll recognize when I make a
contribution to the job.
I'm not a big promises guy. I don't know. That's crazy.
That's a good one to think about.
Here's the one. Teach me something I don't know in the next 5 minutes.
Oh God. What an arrogant question.
Teach me something I don't know in the next 5 minutes.
Well, the assumption is I'm so smart. I already know everything.
Yeah.
So blow my mind and show.
Yeah.
As opposed to say that. All right, Larry, teach me something I don't know.
Right now?
You're like, who the heck is this guy?
All right, let me try. Let me try.
You would do something with music, and I'm.
No. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you know what my grandmother meant when she said "hast du fleur"?
No, I got nothing.
See, I'm gonna teach you something.
All right, good.
She was asking the dog, "Do you have fleas?" She was German.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
I used to hear my grandmother say that all the time. "Hast du fleur?" She'd be like,
oh. You're German? Were you related to Hitler?
Yeah, so it's where I got my name from. I added a W so nobody would know.
Right.
It stood for was. Nobody laughed.
Hitler? Is that what it is?
That's what it was.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Now
I know that's one of those things that people say.
My brother hates me now. My brother. Oh, my nephew told me he was serving in Afghanistan, and I guess one of the pieces of clothing that he wore, a belt or some sort that went across his shoulder, covered the W on his name tag.
Oh boy!
And he was
Wow.
right. And the people saw Hitler and said, "Whoa!"
I'm going to stay away from this guy.
Do I have time for another one? Oh, I got time. Here we go. What do you work toward in your free time? What do you work toward in your free time? Any ideas?
Getting away with selling methamphetamines like the guy from
what?
Breaking Bad. No, it goes back to the Breaking Bad thing.
Oh, okay.
No,
you like
I don't know. I've never seen it actually. It just popped in my brain. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the reaction, and as an employer, what do I want him to say?
Yeah, right.
I guess
right.
you want to find out what their hobbies are. Oh, I do karate. I'm working towards my black belt or something like that.
Right. If you were asked
free time, it's more like free time. What is my free time again?
If we gave you next week off and told you that you have to raise $1,000 for a charity, what would you do?
Yeah.
So you don't have to come to work, but you have to raise $1,000 for charity. What would you do to raise $1,000 in a 5-day period? Oh my God!
I have a bunch of questions. So I would have a bunch of questions. What are my parameters? I could do that. I do that all the time, though.
What, raise $1,000 a week?
Well, I raise money for our foundation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
what would you do? You have to raise $1,000 in a week for muscular dystrophy or something. What would you do?
Yeah, I just make a couple of calls.
Really?
And that would be the main question is, what is the charity for?
Yeah.
And why are we doing it with such a short notice?
Here's a good one.
Who else is involved? What are my resources? Yeah.
Can you name 3 consecutive days without using the words Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday?
Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Robin, can you name 3 consecutive days without using the words Wednesday,
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday?
I guess those aren't
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
I guess those aren't consecutive, are they?
Or today, tomorrow. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's even better.
There you go.
How many windows do you think are in New York City?
Oh, God.
What kind of a question is that?
And this is what I would say. Well, I was driving the other day, and this thought occurred to me. And I was driving alone.
That's what I do in my spare time.
Yeah.
That's what I do in my spare time. My goal is actually one of my ambitions is to count every window in New York City. I'm starting with Upper Manhattan, and I'm going to work my way up the island.
All right, one more question. A penguin walked through A penguin walked through that door right now wearing a sombrero. What does he say, and why is he here?
Well, there's 2 things. If he's going to perform a song, first of all, right? A penguin in a sombrero has to sing.
It's going to be a song. That's a good point.
It's got to be a song. And so if he's going to sing, he's going to sing La Cucaracha or La Bamba.
Oh, my gosh.
And let's be honest, La Bamba is a much better song than La Cucaracha.
It is, absolutely. Yeah. That little cockroach was smoking marijuana. I don't know what was going on in that song.
Yeah, true.
All right. Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, today we're actually right back at Wedgwood Lane down in the Villages.
All right, Wedgwood Lane.
Walmart.
How long are you in Atlanta for?
I'll be here again tomorrow, and then I go home tomorrow night.
All right. Well, enjoy yourself. Be careful. Stay warm. And thank you for what you do. And thank you, Palm Garden Pen Flooring. I want to mention the 2 sponsors. Galen does this each day, and it's with the blessing of those 2 great sponsors. Go take a tour of Palm Garden at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. See why we recommend them for your rehabilitative and health needs. And Pen Flooring. Visit them at 1201 Southwest 17th Street and see what you can do to make your home or office more beautiful from the floor up. All right, Galen, thank you for what you do.
All right, thank you. And don't be self-conscious about what you think by yourself in the car. You'll be okay.
All right. We'll be right back.
All right, bye, y'all.
Palm Garden wants to get to the heart of the matter. If you've been in the hospital as a cardiac patient, maybe you have a pacemaker or congestive heart failure or an arrhythmia, or perhaps you're a heart bypass patient, then consider Palm Garden as your rehab choice. With proven outcomes second to none, Palm Garden fixes broken hearts. Call today at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
Your community radio station. WOCA.
Hi, this is JP.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. On a day kids walked out of school nationwide to protest school shootings, the House passes a bill meant to protect students with federal grants for training programs and school security upgrades.
The first legislative response to last month's mass shooting at a Florida high school is to Stop School Violence Act, winning more than 400 votes in the House. A Senate proposal has bipartisan support. Democrats, however, say more is needed, urging debates on expanding background checks to additional types of gun sales and banning certain semi-automatic weapons.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Toys R Us is going out of business.
Toys R Us has been dealing with $5 billion in debt. It was struggling to pay that back while losing business to Amazon, Walmart, and others. Toys R Us has more than 30,000 employees. They're being promised at least 60 days' salary and benefits.
Fox's Jenny Casola. Fox News. We report, you decide.
At Progressive, we think your floral boutique is the bee's knees. In fact, it's all the bee's knees in every hive of bees and all the trees from here to Belize. Please. Everyone agrees. You deserve the expertise of Progressive Business Insurance, with over 40 years of experience helping busy bees and their knees glide with ease like a gentle breeze. So whether you're a worker bee, a queen, or none of these, buzz over to progressivecommercial.com if you please. Faster than a bee's knees as he pollinates the leaves of 3 trees. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates.
When you're hiring, you don't want to sort through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Diana's hired with Indeed.
It just gives me so many more qualified applicants to choose from.
Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Ad council. Here is your 1-minute news brief from the source WOCA. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says a murder-suicide in Silver Spring Shores has left 3 people dead. Alachua County deputies say they arrested a man for attacking a dog owner with a tennis ball launcher. Navy officials say a U.S. Navy fighter jet crashed yesterday off the coast of Key West, Florida. Its 2 crew members died after being transported to Lower Keys Medical Center. Guests of Walt Disney World Resort hotels will soon pay as much as $24 a night for overnight parking. An employee of the Florida Department of Citrus was arrested after mining the agency's computers for Bitcoin. The effort to designate the Sunshine State's famous pink flamingos as natives is making progress. If the flamingo is classified as a native species, the state would need to devise a recovery plan for the species. And a South Florida couple is celebrating their 23rd anniversary in a hospital after he gave her one of his kidneys in a life-saving transplant. And that is your news brief from The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. A beautiful day today, this Thursday, with sunshine.